Replacing the strings on a Fender Stratocaster style guitar. Lesson 1. Replacing a broken string. The first thing to do to replace a broken string is to remove the old string completely. You can see this end, we've got a bit of broken string here. Don't know if you can see that on the film. There we go. First thing to do is this threads through the body, so we push it as far as it can go through the body, and we turn the guitar over and you can see it sticking out the back. So we now grab this part of the string and pull it out. Once that's removed, we go to the headstock, and again you can see the string here loose. So what we do is untangle it, unravel it and remove it completely. So we've then got an empty string space to fill with a new string. The string we're replacing on this guitar is the B string, and you can see the gap there where it's left. So to start with, we need to turn the guitar over again to reveal the back plate. Now sometimes, in this case, we're okay, but in some cases you have to remove the back plate because the holes won't line up. Now this hole runs right the way through from the back of the guitar to the front of the guitar. So first we locate the correct hole, which is going to be the second hole in this. We get the end of the string, I don't know if you can see this on video, if it shows, and we push it through the hole, threading it right the way to the front of the guitar. There we go. And then we turn the guitar over, and where the string is coming out, which is here, we pull it through until it stops, and you see we've got the new string through the hole. Getting the strap out of the way, we now pull the string till we know the nipple is firmly in place, and we thread the string up the guitar right the way up through its appropriate location in the nut and through the hole in the machine head. Let's find that. There we go. Could do with actually turning that till it's in the correct place. Now we don't put it through the string tree just yet. Pull it sort of finger tight and then start tightening the string, making sure it's obviously not over the strap or anything else. You don't tangle the string up with anything. Make sure it is going straight down the neck, because if it isn't, it can cause you issues later. We wind this up now. Now once you've got not tight, not tuned, but reasonably tight, we then push the string down and hook it underneath the string tree. Now that string is correctly located, so it goes from the machine head here through under the string tree, over through the appropriate slot in the nut, down the guitar to the tremolo system. That now can be tuned, and the whole guitar actually needs a good tuning. And finally, you can either, the loose end, you can either loop it up to keep it. They're very sharp, and if you've got kids or animals, you can take the bloody eye out quite easily. So you either loop it up or you chop it off with a wire cutter. But if you're chopping it off with a wire cutter, don't cut it off all the way straight away. The chances are this string will slip slightly as it settles, so give it an inch, maybe an inch and a half, to allow for slippage. If it does slip and you've cut it right the way to the edge, it'll just fly off and you'll need to buy another new string. There you go, that's a replacement B string. Summary. Remove all the remains of the broken string from the headstock and the tremolo system and unpack the new string ready for installing. Locate the hole in the backplate where the new string is to be threaded through. If you can't locate it, it may be necessary to remove the backplate. Thread the new string through the back of the tremolo system and pull it through till it locks in place. Then draw the string out so it lies flat against the fingerboard. Position the string in the appropriate slot in the nut and draw it across to the machine head. Wrap it once round and then push it through the hole. Now tune the guitar up slightly to take up all the slack. Push the string underneath the string tree so it's located correctly in place. Then cut off any excess string, leaving about an inch to allow for slippage, or coil the string up so that it's safely out of the way. If you found it necessary to remove the backplate, reinstall it now. Remember not to over tighten the screws. This is important because the plastic cracks very easily. Finally, you can tune the guitar up and you're ready to go. Right, we've replaced one string. The next thing to do would be to learn how to replace the whole set of strings. Now I'm going to show you the way I use, and this is really just the quicker way. Rather than removing one string at a time and unravelling them, I just cut them all off. I literally get the wire cutters in and chop away merrily. Looks brutal, but it doesn't do the guitar any harm at all. There we go. Then we simply push all the dead strings, same way as we did before with the single strings, through the tremolo system, so they come out the other side. So they're not going to come back through again. Turn it over. They've all just dropped straight out. That's absolutely perfect. There we go. Is there one still there? No. There we go. So you can see the holes there ready to be lined up. Next we go to the other end and unravel them. These strings are terrible. How do you know if your strings are worn? Basically feel the top thinnest 3 strings, and if they feel rough, time to change your strings. They'll get a very thin layer of rust on them. Sometimes you can even get dints under the strings where they hit down on the frets. This tends to happen on the bottom 3 strings, the thicker strings. So these are 2 signs when you need to replace your strings. Now, some famous guitarists, some guitar books, some people suggest you change your strings down to, I've seen as frequently as once a month. However, I recommend you just learn to recognise when your strings are going and change them. Of course it depends on your usage. If you're learning guitar it doesn't really matter, but rusty strings can cause you major problems. This one has a knot in it. Here's the useful tip. Get one of the strings you've already taken out and find a loop. Push it through the loop, pull it and give it a good hard tug. There we go, unknotted. These can also be useful at the end of the thicker strings. Sometimes on the other end the nipple gets stuck in the tremolo system and you can't push it through the back. Let me just go down there to show you. Every now and again, very rarely, you'll find you push through and it doesn't move, and that's because the nipple is jammed in by the force of the strings. If you cut off one of the thicker strings and use it as a tool, you actually can push it down through the hole, and this you can actually get a fair force on it, and you can use that to push the nipple out the back. That's just a useful tip there. So now I've got off all the strings, the guitar is completely stringless. I'm going to bin these strings because they are rusty. Next step, before we start replacing the strings, because it's the only time you get to clean the guitar properly, actually clean under the strings. It's disgusting. So we need to clean all this off before we put the new strings on. So let's just do all that. Right, once you've cleaned the guitar, you need to get yourself your strings if you haven't. Well, you should already have them really. I'm putting these daddies on this one. These aren't expensive strings, but they seem to me to be a good compromise between quality and price for a beginner. If you risk breaking your strings, or if you like to change your strings regularly, there is no harm in using cheap strings. So the next thing we need to do is take the strings out of the packet and sort them out into order. Make sure we don't put the wrong strings in the wrong place. So I'm going to start with the thinnest string, the top E string. However, you can do it in whatever order you want. We simply open the string and unravel it. There we go. And then the same as we did with the single string, turn the guitar over. Now beware to locate where your top E string is, your thinnest string, and make sure, because the guitar's upside down now, isn't it? So it actually goes in this side. So line up the hole, look for the hole, and push the string through there. There we go. There we go. Turn it back over. Now you can see this is a good thing. Yeah, well, it's not a good thing. It's a good thing for this video because it shows you what can happen. It's gone off at a tangent. This should be through the slot here. It should not be at the side. So the best thing to do is to turn this on its side, thread it through, thread it through. There we go. And then pull this back over once the strings come through. There we go. And we're there. And that's how the string should be. Check it's gone right the way up. Yeah. So then that string is ready to be threaded. Follow the line of the guitar again. Down the neck. Down. Through the nut again. Around. Remember, it should wind always the same way. Which is, I do believe, anti-clockwise. I'm putting that round once and then through the hole. As soon as I should, assuming I can find the hole. Oopsie. It's always good fun, this bit. There we go. Again, no need to tune it, no need to wind it up. Now, a useful tool, leave it semi-loose, don't tighten it up too far. And then remember what we did earlier, push it down under the string trees. The string trees may need straightening if they're loose, so make sure that the useful tool, not quite yet, but a useful tool is one of these. This is a winder, string winder, and this helps you tune up the guitar quickly. You can also use it, if you don't cut the strings off like I did, you can use it to remove the strings quickly. You literally put the little plastic tip, I'm putting it on a machine head with no string on so I don't break anything, and you wind, and it just speeds up the whole process of winding. So if you want to remove the strings rather than cut them off, a string winder is very useful. They're only a couple of quid or a couple of bucks off the old eBay, or in your local guitar shop. So let's do the next string. We've done the top E string. Do the one next to it, the B string. So we've got the B string here. Unravel it. There we go. Now let's go back to the back plate. Right, we've threaded the E string. Now we're going to go on to the B string. So we look at the back here, and we want to do the second hole. So we thread that through gently. Put my hand around the other side so I can feel it coming through. There it is. Keep it coming. Oh, ow, ow. There we go. Pull till the nipples settle down. So you can see that, push that back up again. It went a bit quick, didn't it? So you can see that in the slot. It's stuck with it. So we need to just, that's it. Turn it over. This time we've been very fortunate, it's come to exactly the right place it needs to be. So we literally just hold it, thread it along the guitar, through the nut, there, and to the correct machine head. There we go, in it goes. There we go. So now, look, it's dropped off. So I need to realign this before I do anything. So that's in the right place, all the way down the neck. It's actually tight enough this time to go straight under the string tree. Make sure the string tree is aligned. And then just tighten it a tad. Again, you could do this with the string winder, I've just got more control. more control here. See why it's the wrong one. There we go. So there we go. I'll do the rest now. Right, I've fitted all the strings to this guitar, so now I just need to get it about in tune. So we'll slide this over, come to the machine head, and you can see this is going to need some tidying up as well, cutting and so on. So I'll use, just to get a, there's no point using a tuning yet, the strings will be stretching so that it'll go out of tune quite quickly initially. So we'll just use another guitar as a reference. And we've not needed to use the maybe there. On this one it's way out of tune, so we'll use the string winder. That's about right. Next string. Again, I think the string winder's in order there. Straighten the there we go, the string tree. There we go, next one. That's way out. Top one, yeah. Don't need the string winder anymore. So you see, it's not exactly in tune yet, but that's because the strings are still stretching. We just need to leave it to stand for a few minutes and allow the strings to stretch in. It's a wise idea to cut off these now. Leave about an inch to allow for slippage, maybe an inch and a half. Some people like to curl them up into like a coil. If you prefer to do that, that's good. Be warned, these are really, really dangerous and really, really sharp. They'll go through your finger like butter, and it really hurts. You know, also if you've got animals, make sure that the bits you cut off, make sure you get them and put them in the bin. You know, anybody who's got a dog or a cat, you know how they rub on the carpet. It could do them quite some nasty damage. So tidy up after yourself. That's it now. Guitar should play nicely. There we go.